the Celestial Tarot deck. What a surprise. What a find. I went to Five and Below. It's a shop that is, I think it's on a national scale, if not a regional scale, but I do believe national. And it is a store where everything is Five and Below. Most things, because they do have some things above now. But the point is that in this shop, I used to go to get the books because often they have some really cool books. And again, even with them priced at a higher point, they sell for $5. I love that, and I love to read. I love to look at what's going on in the reading, in the printing business, and what they're putting out there. Especially because that shop, and it's a big store actually. That store has had some metaphysical stuff, which I find fascinating. And when I find a good book, I buy it and then I read it. So anyway, while I was there, I stumbled across, of course, a tarot deck, and I thought, how cool is that? I can't believe it, for $5. Now I went ahead and bought it because, hey, for $5 I'm gonna buy it because it's there, and because I do buy tarot decks and collect them. Now I didn't expect much from this deck, I must give you that as a warning, and yet in the end the cards and the decks sold me. They sold me over. They won me over, I guess, a better way to put it. The point is that with $5 I said, oh, it's a $5 deck, whatever. The reality is it has the size of a tarot deck. It's a 2 3/4 by 4 3/4. It fits that. It shuffles well. It handles well. And as you know, this is one of the big things. If you can't shuffle a tarot deck, if you can't handle a tarot deck, then you don't have a tarot deck because you can't read tarot. I mean, it's that simple. You have to be able to use it. It's functional. This one is very functional. It also has some wonderful images. Look at the back. This is the back of the card. Some wonderful imagery there. And then in the front of the card, on the front of the card, they have some, I love the way they handled the imagery there as well. Instead of getting very super creative and creating all this wild and wicked stuff, and I've seen some crazy tarot decks, I like the way they handle this in a more minimalistic style. And so, like, this is the King of Swords. And if you look at the King of Swords, there's a king's crown and a sword. Very simple. With the pentacles, with the wands, and with the cups. They replace this. They leave the crown, but they replace this. And then, of course, the color changes per suit. So anytime you're going to see a sword, you're going to see red. If you see cups, you're seeing blue. Blue makes sense because of the water, because of the change, because of the emotions. Where this is more about, action and so forth, and it's a little more invigorating, right? Look at this, 8 of Swords, very straightforward. Again, the 8 swords out there, the person caught that imagery of the old Rider-Waite deck, which I liked. We have the Strength card here. The Strength card shows that lion. It shows that person, it's a person being strong, which is part of the imagery. We have the Hierophant card, which is kind of cool. And of course, we have the Fool, and I love that, the court jester hat. That's so super cool, So again, as I looked at the deck, I thought, let me not, I'm going to evaluate it based on $5, but I don't have to evaluate it based on a $5 deck. The reality is it shuffles well. The energy is really good with this deck. As I used it, and I have used it a few times, because most readers are intuitive readers, we don't really worry so much about what the image is, how funny or how wonderful the images are, whatever, because we know what we're feeling about them. We know what the card means already based on tarot and the rules of tarot, but we also know what Spirit is telling us. And when I use this deck, I'm telling you, I feel wonderful energy about this deck. And again, there has to be that energy between the deck and the reader. I have some beautiful decks that when I've used them, they've meant nothing to me because they don't generate that passion or that energy, and I've had to park them, and I don't mind parking them because I'll keep them as part of my collection. I have a massive collection, but they're just not something that I can say is functional. This one is functional. Again, I love the way it shuffles. I like because it's not too super soft, too super glossy and slick. It doesn't slide out of my hands. As you saw, I held onto it nicely here. It's not too super thick because, again, the card stock isn't really thick. If the card stock was thicker, this would be much harder to hold. And again, another compliment to the deck. It wears well. I've used it often. It wears better than I anticipated. It actually wears better than one of my go-to decks, which is, I paid $35 for that deck, and that deck gets worn out often, so I'm replacing it quite often. Believe it or not, I've used this one quite a bit, and no damage, no nothing. But it also does let water and moisture run off of it, which is super important. You don't get finger spots and all those things and the oils and so forth. You don't see that. And I haven't seen any aging yet around the card, and that's nice again. So for me, cardstock, great. Images on the back, wonderful. Images on the front, direct and to the point, and actually quite useful. A nice tuck box. It doesn't come with a hard shell box. This is a tuck box, but these tuck boxes are rigid and they'll hold their shape as long as there's cards in them, and they do the job. And this one does have gloss, and it's even more resistant to something happening to the deck should you put the deck back in there. Most tarot readers, if we use the deck, we put them into baggies like this, or velvet bags or something, or a box or something. But again, when you don't use them and you put them back, this is a great box to keep it safe from. So if you have a chance and you're looking for a starter deck, if you're looking to just try to get into tarot and start using it, if you're looking to add a cheap deck for readings or for giveaways, I tell you what, I think this is a great choice. And again, I use the deck now, and I'm comfortable with this deck, and I can't believe I only paid $5. Again, this one's at 5 and below. I don't know if it's elsewhere. I did not see it on Amazon because I have an Amazon account where I sell products from Amazon, so I would find it there, but it does not seem to be there. But it is definitely there at the 5 and below. And I think 5 and below has an online shop as well. So I would suggest pick it out. I think you're gonna like it. You'll be pleased with what you got, and it is a great deck to just play with, which I love my decks for that. Have a great one, and hey, I love giving positive reviews. Check out my next one. Take care. Bye bye.